Hey, real quick before we dive in, if you're a woman in midlife who's tired of the cliches and ready to live out loud, we're glad you're here.
Because you are definitely in the right place. We're not here to age gracefully, we're here to age boldly. So if you love real talk, big laughs, and the occasional spicy truth bomb, make sure to follow us on TikTok at Spicy Midlife Women for even more unfiltered midlife magic.
Because let's be honest, midlife isn't a crisis, it's an awakening. What are we going for today, Jules?
Well, we're just going to get right into it because we want to chat a little bit about what that means. I mean, who is this podcast for?
Right?
Right.
I think it's going to be for so many women. And I think also it's going to be for women that don't even know it's for them.
I know. That's what I'm kind of excited about.
So I want to challenge those that are on the fence to listening. Really just sit back and take a listen.
Yeah, because we're really focusing on midlife women or women really over 40. And a lot of the things we'd mentioned in the trailer and we'll probably be talking about throughout here are really things we've been through ourselves. You know, we've been married, we've had children, we've had careers, we've made a hell of a lot of mistakes along the way, and we've learned a lot, along the way too. And we can see definitely that as we are in midlife, we really kind of consider ourselves spicy.
Right? It's so interesting, especially now. And, you hear the cliche term, hindsight is 20/20, right? But it really is being able to, and not that this journey is even close to being over, right? It's never over.
No.
It's an ongoing thing that we just keep forging our way through. But taking a look back and seeing where we are now and what got us here, and some of the things that we had to go through to get us to this point.
Yeah.
And some of that shit does make you spicy.
It absolutely, well, it can do one of two things. It can make you spicy or it can make you complacent,
right?
Really, or kind of feel like that is all that's out there for you. And I mean, there's definitely times in my life where I've been like, oh my gosh, it's like, is this what it's all about? And a lot of that has to go into parenting and the relationships like we've talked about before you have with yourself, but also with your family and your significant other, or even in the dating world, if you're not married. I mean, there's so many different components to it. So we're really trying to define what it is like to be a midlife woman and understand that in our day and age, being a midlife woman is really, I don't know, something where we don't really look at ourselves as midlife women.
Right.
There's there's nothing containing us, I guess.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, because I think that is, when you think of spicy midlife women, that's exactly where we're at. We are not fit in the box. We're outside of the lines, right? Not that we intentionally push the norms or, go against the expectations, but that's kind of what this is about, is being yourself.
Right. And not apologizing about it.
And doing it unapologetically, realizing what some of the things are. That's what we want you to get out of this, is to really gain clarity on what you really want with these things. What do you want in relationships? What do you want to do with the baggage that you're carrying? Do you want to haul it around and drag it? Or do you want to heal and release it, right? What do you want to do with dating at this, if that's where you're at,
Which, of course, I have a lot of experience with that.
Yeah, Julie's going to be the expert on that topic.
I don't know about an expert, but I certainly have things to offer, because you hear about dating in midlife and how treacherous it can be. And that is not a lie by any stretch.
Yeah, it's not typical now.
Right.
In this day and age. And, the whole feminism aspect.
Right.
Of being a woman in this day and age, recognizing, what you have to contribute while balancing the femininity. It kind of is a balancing act now. There's all these expectations that, a lot of people have with women, and we put those expectations on ourselves,
right,
with feminism and the things, like hear me roar, let me take on the world, I'm going to do it all, and really balancing that. And what does that, it looks very different now than it used to.
Yeah, it's not like you have to choose. You don't have to choose to be, your authentic self and try to work your life around what other people's view is of you. And what you're going to find, ladies, is that as you really start finding your voice, there are going to be people in your life who don't like it, who don't necessarily feel comfortable with you, kind of coming into yourself. And so those are some of the things that we're definitely going to be talking about, because there will be moments when that's going to happen, and you have to step back and say, gosh, I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm going to not worry about it, or I'm going to continue forging forward and not let the criticism of people that are in my life affect me and how I do things. So
might have to rewrite some of those rules that you didn't even realize you were following.
Yeah.
Right. And, it's going to have some of those aha moments, if you will, when you realize that something's got to change because you've got this anxiety within you, or this struggle, I should say, with going with the flow or going with what you know.
Right.
Right.
And going with the flow is the path. Going with the flow is the path of least resistance. One sometimes we've taken, and we've all been there, when it's just been easier because we're tired or because we've got so many expectations placed upon us. And, one of the other things we definitely want to get into is challenging some of those perceived expectations and, really correlating expectations versus standards to determine where we're at. Are we following things that we are supposed to do, or are we setting our own standards for things that we're okay with and not getting upset about it, when it doesn't necessarily align with other people's goals and expectations.
Right.
So
right.
The aha moment you talked about, I think is a real key, because as we go through our life and we go through the different stages in our life, and anyone, who's listening and you're probably your 40s or in your 50s or even in your 60s, it's like there's different segments of your life where you're going to run into these challenges. And we want to be able to provide information to inspire you, provide details and examples of things that we've done where we did them wrong, or where we did them correctly, or where we learned the hard way. So you can hopefully learn from some of the things that we've been through ourselves as well.
Just here to help you get through it, man.
Yeah. And again, going back to that whole thing about spicy, when Michelle and I were talking about this, it's like we kind of chuckle about it a little bit, because there's so much that goes into being a woman, and a woman who is in the age groups that we're talking about here, because there are views of what we are supposed to be doing, how we're supposed to wear our hair, what kind of clothes we're supposed to wear. Heck, there's a lot of people who feel like they're completely invisible at this age because nobody really pays attention to women that are in their midlife. I mean, I've heard that for many years. I don't necessarily agree with all of that, because I think a lot of it has to do with how you present yourself and the level of confidence that you have and the people that you surround yourself with. Those sorts of things make a big difference in, how you view yourself too.
Your age.
Yeah.
Your age is whatever you feel like it should be.
Right.
Right. It's not, Julie always teases me because she's got me wearing an apron and pearls and cooking in the kitchen. Right. My mom at midlife looked completely different than what I look at at midlife.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we're talking about. It doesn't have to be the stereotypical woman that, looks a certain way and says certain things and listens to certain music, and because it's age appropriate. Fuck that. Get that age appropriate stuff out the window. It's whatever you enjoy, and it's whatever makes you feel good. And sometimes that's really hard to recognize when you're in the throes of raising a family and trying to figure out if, are balancing a career with all of that, and, going to church on Sunday and doing all the things that are happening in that time. It's really hard to lose yourself, or not hard. It's very easy to lose yourself.
And I would say that's definitely something that I did.
100%. I did.
110%. I totally did. But anyway, we'll get into all of that in our episodes, because there's plenty to go over. So as we mentioned before, really being unapologetic about your own truth and determining who you are is probably the one most wonderful thing you can do for yourself. And we, again, are just going to try to find different avenues for you to see that in your own life. It's all going to be different for different people, but hopefully there's a lot of information that will resonate with you. And some of the stories and some of the hilarious things that we come up with will resonate with you and help you kind of get a little pep in your step and try something different perhaps, or go in a different direction, or make really tough decisions that you have been kind of putting your head in the sand about. There's all kinds of things that we're hopefully going to be able to help you with.
Oh, yeah. We want you to be able to gain clarity, embrace newness, right? Feel empowered and, hold the ability to reject outdated expectations and create a life that feels good on your own terms.
Right.
Right, Jules?
Yeah. And you know what, you guys, the other thing too that I thought was really important, and Michelle and I have really spent a lot of time discussing this, is that we have circles, of friends that are close circles, and then we have wider circles of friends and people who are, maybe in similar stages in life. But what we really are hoping to achieve with this podcast is providing you with a sisterhood and a supportive community that is dealing with a lot of the same things that you're dealing with. So we'll have more on that to come, but there's going to be a definite place for you to be able to ask questions and for you to be able to chat with other women. There's just all kinds of exciting things coming up that we're really happy to share with all of you.
So exciting. So exciting. And, we are happy to say that we are out on all the podcast platforms, whatever you enjoy listening to, Spotify, Amazon, all of them. You will find us there, Spicy Midlife Women. And and we, Spicy Midlife Women, will be dropping episodes every week. Yep. So every Monday, you'll get something new. And we can't wait to share all the information with you, with our experiences and conversations, and grow our community, saving a place for you. And until then, we will look forward to chatting with all of you ladies. And I guess we will be staying spicy, won't we? Until then, stay spicy, sisters.